everyone. Welcome to Your Virtual Coffee, the web show which introduces you to great local businesses in the Denver metro area. Today, my guest is Jerry Wenzel, partner with B2B CFO. His company provides business broker services for their clients. Jerry is a certified transition expert. In everything they do, B2B CFO believes in improving the lives of business owners. And with that, Jerry, welcome to my show.
Well, thank you, Gina. Look forward to our discussion and appreciate the opportunity of being involved with your program.
Now, Jerry, I like for my audience to kind of get to know my guest on a little bit of a personal level, because the reality is we like to do business with people we like, know, and trust.
You bet.
So, Jerry, where'd you grow up?
Well, I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I had the opportunity of meeting my wife, who's originally from Denver, when we were going to college. And after we got married, she said, "Why are we living in Wisconsin? Don't you know what Denver's like in the wintertime?" So she is much smarter than I am. So we moved to Denver a few years after we got married. And so have been in Denver. As I said, Maureen grew up here, but we've been in Denver since the early 80s. I have 3 sons. All 3 grown, none of them in Denver. They would all like to come back someday, I think. But 2 on the east, 1 on the East Coast, 1 on the West Coast, and 1 in South Africa. So when we have our opportunities, we get to travel. And being in Denver is a great location from that standpoint to go visit their families, as well as enjoy the environments that they live in from that standpoint. So in our spare time, we do lots of travel to visit them and enjoy it. But we still love Colorado, love to get outdoors, love to go skiing, hiking, and so we're not moving, but we'll see if any of our sons come back here eventually from that standpoint. So that personally, and like I said, my wife certainly was a lot smarter than I was in coming to Denver. From my professional standpoint, I began with a public accounting firm in Denver, a local firm, when I came here, and I'm a CPA. And I was in public accounting for a little over 20 years in Denver. And a lot of my work was basically with the types of businesses that are in Denver, the entrepreneurial businesses. And a lot of what I did was not just from an audit partner standpoint, but from a consulting standpoint, and being involved with businesses in the CPA firm market. You're, again, obviously doing more compliance type work, audits, those kinds of things, but had a chance to be involved with a number of transactions and advising business owners that either were looking to sell or looking to acquire businesses when I was in public accounting. And I had an opportunity with a business when I transitioned from what I'll say public accounting into private accounting, being a CFO in a business. I had worked with a client here. Well, I had worked with a business that I had tried to get as a client in public accounting. And I was never able to get them as a client. And one day they called and said, "Jerry, we have an opportunity. We're looking for a CFO." And they said, "Would you be interested in the opportunity?" So it was at that point in my career that I decided, this would be great. I've been on one side of the business from a CPA standpoint, but now to be actually involved in the business. And it was a family-owned business, knew the family, knew the owners. They had a lot of things going on. And it was just a great chance for me to, when changing that career from public to private, to go with a business where I knew the people and of high integrity. So that kind of led me down that path of being involved primarily with privately held businesses. Most of them have been family owned. I've been the CFO at 3 of those types of businesses, and all 3 of them eventually had the plan, and they did sell and transition the business. So I've really enjoyed the process of being involved with B2B CFO, because our role, and as you said, we look at each business owner as unique and important to our society. And a lot of time in I would say the small to mid-sized businesses, the owners are so involved and have to be involved with their business that it's difficult for them at times to step back and think about things strategically. How do I create the most value? And what am I ultimately going to do with this business? And for me, that's what I enjoy doing the most with my clients in terms of a business advisory role, is being there to help educate them as some of their options, get great professionals around them, as any CFO would do if they were full-time in a business, and then hopefully help them define a path for them of what they're going to do with their business. Because at some point in time, as I work with owners, I tell them, look at, either you're going to outlive your business or it outlives you. So what's your plan? And that's what I look to help them do in most situations that are looking eventually to transition their business.
Now, Jerry, you are a certified transition expert.
Yes.
And so what is the criteria required to become that?
So that's a program that is developed. It's a 6-month program in which various tests are given. We go through various exercises relative to understanding what the business market is, who the buyers are for businesses, what sellers need to be looking for, who are the other professionals that need to be part of a transition team for a business if an owner is looking to sell. So it's that rigorous process that we go through, and then there's an exam that's taken to obtain that certification from that standpoint. A lot of it is getting to understand and being able to communicate the process of selling your business, if that eventually is what a business owner is looking to do, because there's lots of moving pieces that happen. And a lot of times business owners will make a decision to sell the business, but it may not be the right time. They may not be prepared. They may be able to create more value if they do other things in their business. And that's part of what my role is with my clients in that realm, is to guide them in that process as to what they need to do to be prepared, and then what their expectations are during that entire process to eventually, if they're looking to sell their business, get to that finish line and create and get the value that they've worked so hard in their business to achieve.
Okay. What is an issue that keeps your client up at night, and how does B2B CFO solve that issue?
Wow, that's a great question. A lot of the times the business owners will tell me it's financial related. It's because we're short of cash, or we're growing so fast and the profitability is not there. But a lot of times when I talk to them about those issues, it usually gets deeper than that. It's not always about just the financial results of the business. I hear a lot of times from business owners that are actively involved, it's like, I just wish I had more time to step away from the business. I'm in it constant. It's 24/7. I'm thinking about it at night. That's what keeps me up at night. And from their perspective, it's like, if I could just take some time away or spend some time really focusing on high level things in the business, but they're not able to do that because sometimes they've not built the right team around them in terms of resources within the business, and they end up spending time in doing things they shouldn't be doing. So I think from a lot of it, it's being able for them to look at their business from a people standpoint and a process standpoint, to understand that there are things that as a business owner, it's okay to delegate and give up. They don't have to touch everything. And that then can free their time up so they can actually take a vacation or get home at 5 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock at night. So it's really those kinds of things that I hear a lot, Gina, that Again, although I may get called in because there's financial opportunities or challenges that they may have, it really comes down to a lot of just, do I have the right people around me in the business? And can I step away and focus on really the high level things and not get buried down in the deep?
Jerry, what is the difference between a certified transition expert and a certified business intermediary?
Well, from those two roles, they're really apples and oranges. In my role in dealing with the clients as a transaction specialist, I'm dealing directly with the business owners and helping them prepare their business for sale in terms of their financial reporting records, information related to the business, really preparing the business for due diligence when a prospective buyer comes in. And a business intermediary is generally a licensed business broker or business banker that actually facilitates the transaction and is involved directly in the sales process, from dealing with potential buyers that are looking at the business, sending out information relative to confidential information memorandums about the business, and presenting the business to the market from a sales standpoint. So that there's really that distinction of working, I would say, in the business, which I do from that transaction standpoint, to an intermediary standpoint, where they're actually representing the business for sale for the market to be sold.
Jerry, I want to talk about power partners. And for our audience, power partners are those businesses who target your same ideal client, but are not your competition. One example I use a lot, if you watch this show, is a hairstylist and a personal trainer. Their ideal client is someone who wants to look good. And it can be a great relationship to build because you can send referrals back and forth to each other. So it's a really great kind of friendship to have in the business community.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to understand who power partners are, Jerry, we have to understand who is B2B CFO's ideal client.
Great question relative to the ideal client. Ideal client for us is the business owner that probably has revenue from $1 million to 40 million. Those are typically the businesses where owners, again, are actively involved, but they probably will have a controller or a bookkeeper, will not have a full-time CFO just because of the size of the business. And their role usually in the business at that point in time, I will say, those employees from an accounting or financial standpoint are really looking at tactical issues. They're there every day to make sure invoices get prepared, payables are made, the day-to-day operations, which are very vital to the business. But a lot of times they don't have the opportunity to step back and look at the financial information that they've recorded and presented as to what are the trends that are going on in the business. What are the flags that are coming up with all the information that we prepare on a daily, a weekly, and a monthly basis, and then we give to the owner. And then what does the owner do with that information? So our role is being a business advisor to the owners in terms of, are their systems providing timely and accurate and integrity-filled information that is understandable to them so they can make decisions? And a lot of times, again, because the business owners that we work with in that market are so deeply involved in the day-to-day operations, whether it's selling, manufacturing, operating floor, whatever it may be, again, they may be missing value in their business by not looking at the reports, not understanding the reports, or not making decisions based upon the information that's presented. And so our role is really, again, to be an educational resource, if you will, Gina, for our clients, to give them the opportunity to say, if you did things this way, or if you looked at your business this way, what would the benefit be? And what would it take to get there? And one thing that I really look at from my clients is I always ask them, if you have a good business, what would it take and what would it look like to make it great? And what does that mean to you then as a business owner? Does that give you more value? Does that give you more free time in your business? But what does it take to get there from that perspective? So that's really the type of, when you talk about what's your ideal client, that's our ideal client from, this is a business owner that wants to improve, wants to understand, and maybe develop a plan for the future instead of being caught again in that day-to-day grind of running the business, but maybe not creating the value that they can from that perspective.
That's an excellent point. And I'm thinking other industries who would target that ideal client, obviously commercial bankers. Commercial bankers usually deal with lines of credit, financing, solutions for businesses of a certain size.
Right.
Which is also who your ideal client is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm also thinking those business brokers who actually, kind of take this transaction across the finish line.
Exactly. So those are two perfect examples, and I think probably the two of the main drivers for our power partners within our business, because commercial lenders are always involved in their client's business. Generally, they know what's going on. And at times, there's really two opportunities that I've been able to provide service for, and also then provide clients to from a commercial lender standpoint, is they usually have challenges when a business is growing and may need more financing, may need more resources from the bank. But all of a sudden, as the business continues to grow, there may not be the systems in place or the people in place to support that growth. And what the commercial lender sees is, we've got sales going up and we've got cash flow going down, and the business owner is coming to them and saying, hey, my sales are going up, I need more credit. Well, a challenge is then, why, is profitability decreasing if sales are increasing, which is a common challenge with growing businesses. So there's a time when we can provide with the business owner, evaluating the processes, the people that are supporting the business, and maybe they need to have a higher level of support within their business at a personnel level or a systems level. And from the business broker side or the investment banking side, we work hand in hand with them. We don't do the same thing. We're there to prepare the business and the business owner to create and provide, if you will, that platform that a business broker can take and look at this business and say, great, I've got this information. We can put this together. We can take it to the marketplace. So we really work hand in hand. And there are times when I'm able to refer potential clients to the business broker or investment banking community that are looking for transactions. And likewise, when they may have potential businesses that they may be looking to sell, but maybe haven't quite gotten to that level yet of reporting information correctly, accurately, or in a format that the broker or the investment banker is looking for, that we can help, again, the business owner develop that and be prepared. So when they're ready to sell their business, again, they're getting the most value from the business for what they put into it.
Okay, so Jerry, for that business owner that's out there that is tired of working 24/7, tired of they feel like I never get any time off. I'm just a hamster in a wheel. How does that business owner get a hold of you?
So, well, certainly they can contact me at my email address. It's Jerry Wenzel at B2BCFO.com. My website is www.b2bcfo.com. B2B CFO /Jerry Wenzel. Or they can certainly just pick up the phone and give me a call at 303-204-2009. And this is just one of the other things, Gina, relative to our process with business owners is we're always available to meet with the business owner and provide them a report that we do. We don't charge for this when we meet with a business owner. We'll come in if they have things that they'd like to talk about, meet with the business owner initially, ask for some financial information. We'll benchmark it against industry information. And then we'll also prepare a report for them about things that we've heard or talked about. And I'll actually ask them if I can spend a couple hours in their business, just with their, whether it's their controller, their bookkeeper, maybe their inventory manager if they have inventory, just to get a feel for what's going on in the business. So we will spend, and I'll spend 6 to 8 hours of my time just to put together this report for the business owner and say, here's what I heard you say. Here's some of the challenges that you may have. And here's some of the things that if you implemented, what would it look like? And then bring that report back to the business owner for them to take a look at and decide whether there's some opportunities there for our services that may provide them some benefit. And if there's not, at least they've got a report then about their business as it compares to the industry. And, and a lot of times there's lots of things going on in the business and it may not be right from a timing standpoint. And we get that. But again, our role as our firm is because we believe that business owners are important to our society. We're willing to do that if the business owner is willing to spend an hour of their time with us, half an hour on the front end, half an hour on the back end, to give them information about the business that may help them down the road.
All right, business owners, you heard it directly from Jerry. So make sure you set that appointment. Go to the website. I will include this information at the end of the video so you can reach out to Jerry directly. Jerry, any last thoughts?
No, again,
I think you covered it.
Yeah, Gina, it's been great. Your questions have been great, and your service that you provide through these podcasts to the business community. I'd just like to thank you from that standpoint as a person that works with businesses, that your resources through all levels of professionals that you bring on here to support the business owners is really great for the Denver community.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And Jerry, I appreciate you coming on my show today.
Well, thank you for the invite. It was a great challenge.
Thank you, audience, for joining us today on Your Virtual Coffee. We couldn't do this show without you. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which surprisingly is called Your Virtual Coffee. On our show, we love business professionals. So business peeps, let's talk. Thanks and have a great day. Your Virtual Coffee is sponsored by Ventola Law. Ventola Law, mediation and legal representation at an expert level. You can find them at ventolalaw.com. Thanks for joining me today. For more information on Your Virtual Coffee, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and wait for it, our website at yourvirtualcoffee.com. Thanks again for watching and have an incredible day.